Barry Gibb's lifestyle and net worth. Sir Barry Allen Crompton Gibb, born September 1st, 1946, is a British musician, singer, songwriter, and record producer. Along with his younger fraternal twin brothers, Robin and Maurice, he rose to worldwide fame as a member of the Bee Gees, one of the most commercially successful groups in the history of popular music. Gibb is well known for his wide vocal range, including a far-reaching high-pitched falsetto. Gibb's career has spanned over 70 years. As we deep dive into his world of fame and success, kindly subscribe and like for more amazing content. Net worth. As of April 2025, Barry Gibb's net worth is estimated to be approximately $140 million. Barry Gibb, the last surviving member of the Bee Gees, has amassed his wealth through a prolific career as a singer, songwriter, and producer. The Bee Gees, comprising Barry and his brothers Robin and Maurice, achieved monumental success, particularly during the disco era of the 1970s. Having said that, let's dive. Early life. Barry Allen Crompton Gibb was born on September 1st of 1946 in Douglas, Isle of Man. At a young age, Barry suffered serious burns after an accident involving hot tea. He was left with severe scalding, and he spent over 2 months in hospital as a result. The Gibbs formed a band in Manchester while they were still quite young. Barry then relocated with his family once more to Redcliffe, Australia. It was during this time that the Gibbs brothers started their first group together, with Barry, Maurice, and Robin all forming a trio. However, they only began to experience genuine success when the three boys moved back to Manchester. Personal life, real estate, and car collection. In 1966, Barry Gibb married a woman named Maureen Bates at the tender age of 19. They lived together for a relatively short period of time before divorcing in 1970. Not long afterward, Gibb met Linda Gray, a former Miss Edinburgh. They married later in 1970. Over the course of their relationship, Barry and Linda had 5 children together. Real estate. In 1981, Barry paid $1.58 million for a waterfront mansion in Miami. That's the same as spending around $4.6 million in today's dollars. The 16,000-square-foot mansion sits on a 1.6-acre plot of land. Today, the property is worth an estimated $25 million. In 2006, reports surfaced that Gibb and his wife planned to purchase Johnny Cash's former home in Tennessee. The pair eventually paid $2.3 million for the 7-bedroom estate, which was originally constructed in 1968 for Johnny Cash. Car collection. He has curated an impressive collection of luxury and exotic automobiles over the years. His taste in cars reflects his status in the music industry and his appreciation for both performance and elegance. 1999 Bentley Turbo RT Long Wheelbase, LWB. This bespoke Bentley was Gibb's personal vehicle at his Miami residence. It holds the distinction of being the last Turbo RT LWB built for North America. Lamborghini Countach. A symbol of 1980s automotive extravagance, the Countach is renowned for its sharp angles and powerful performance. 1963 Bentley S2 Mulliner Park Ward Convertible. This classic convertible represents the pinnacle of Bentley craftsmanship from the early 1960s. Bentley Continental GT. A blend of luxury and performance, the Continental GT is a grand tourer that complements Gibb's sophisticated taste. Professional career. The Bee Gees. In 1955, the Gibbs brothers formed a group called the Rattlesnakes. Barry performed vocals and played the guitar, while Robin and Maurice also performed vocals. In addition, a man named Paul Frost played the drums while another musician named Kenny Horrocks played the T-chest bass. Initially, the group performed at small, local venues throughout Manchester. After moving to Australia, the 3 aforementioned Gibbs brothers came together as a trio. While living in Queensland, the group named themselves the Bee Gees for the first time. Not long afterward, the group began to appear on television for the first time and signed a record deal with Festival Records. Their debut single, The Battle of the Blue and the Grey, was written by Barry and launched their initial success. By the late 60s, the Bee Gees had become quite successful with the single New York Mining Disaster 1941. At this point, drummer Colin Peterson and guitarist Vince Maloney joined the Bee Gees. After touring Europe and the US on the heels of this success, they released a chart-topping single in the UK entitled Massachusetts. This proved to be quite exhausting, and in 1967 Barry and Robin both collapsed from nervous breakdowns during an international flight. At this point, all three brothers were also competing for creative control over the group. By 1970, Barry had begun his solo career for the first time, and the group seemed to drift apart. In the 70s, the Bee Gees came back together and released a number of smash hits over the next decade. These included singles such as How Deep Is Your Love, More Than a Woman, Stayin' Alive, and You Should Be Dancing. This marked the peak of their popularity during the so-called disco era of the mid-70s. They became even more emblematic of the disco era when they contributed to the soundtrack of Saturday Night Fever, helping the soundtrack sell more than 40 million records. Gibb was also very successful as a songwriter during this period. At one point, he had written 4 songs, all of which eventually topped the charts one after the other. 2 of these songs were by the Bee Gees, one was performed by Andy Gibb, and the 4th was performed by Yvonne Elliman. This is a very rare songwriting record that has never been surpassed. Thanks for watching. Bless up.